Ladies and gentlemen, Tucker Carlson has just dropped the biggest piece of news about where he is going now that he has departed Fox News. We are here to bring it to you. We've got the details. Hang on, let's get into it. My name is Brian Trippett. I am your front porch conservative. Step on up to my electronic front porch and let's talk. Two days ago, a story broke at Axios.com that made everybody in media and around the country sit up and take notice. And it wasn't so much for the headline or even for the first couple of paragraphs, which give you the meat of the story. It's one little nugget inside that made everybody pay attention. I'm going to show you this article real quick. From Axios, Scoop, Tucker Carlson ready to torch Fox News. Tucker Carlson is preparing to unleash allies to attack Fox News in an effort to bully the network into letting him work for or start a right-wing rival, sources close to him tell Axios. Now, it has been going around for past 48 hours that supposedly Tucker's got a lot of friends who are coming to him. Maybe he's going to them. Who knows how it's working? But basically, they're ready to go out and, go to war on behalf of Tucker because they feel like that Rupert and the boys over at Fox News screwed Tucker over, which isn't too far from the truth, by the way, but all right, that's my opinion. Now, I said there was one little nugget in here that made everybody pay attention. Well, let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. It's this. Behind the scenes, Axios has learned that Carlson and Elon Musk had a conversation about working together, but didn't discuss specifics. Well, ladies and gentlemen, a piece of news dropped this afternoon that may be the biggest thing to go on in media since the invention of the television. We now know for sure where Tucker Carlson is going. He's going to Twitter, and he even went out to that platform to make his announcement. We've got the video. We're going to play some clips of it, do a little bit of analysis, and then I want to go into perhaps why it is he's willing to be so bold now, where up to this point, they've been trying to do this thing behind the scenes, figure out what they want to do, how they want to negotiate with Fox, that sort of thing. And when you see the reasoning, you'll begin to understand why Tucker is just being out and loud and proud. So let's get into it. The first clip is just a general summation of the news these days. So take a listen to this.
At the most basic level, the news you consume is a lie of the stealthiest and most insidious kind. Facts have been withheld on purpose, along with proportion and perspective. You are being manipulated.
Now, this criticism isn't necessarily new. I mean, people on the right, be they conservatives, populists, libertarians, even moderates, have been making this complaint about media for decades, going all the way back, you probably argue back to the 40s and the 50s, but it's really, really become pronounced in this day and age in which we find ourselves. So Tucker's laying out a very interesting argument, which is going to lead up to the big announcement. So let's go to the next clip, which I'm not even going to try and set this up. I'm going to let it speak for itself. And then I'll give a take, as you might expect the beau in the chapeau to do. Take a listen to this.
What's it like to work in a system like that? After more than 30 years in the middle of it, we could tell you stories. The best you can hope for in the news business at this point is the freedom to tell the fullest truth that you can. But there are always limits. And you know that if you bump up against those limits often enough, you will be fired for it. That's not a guess. It's guaranteed.
As they used to say on The Sopranos, he's not even trying to be subtle about it, ladies and gentlemen. That is a shot in the broadside of the SS Fox News. That is absolutely, that is walk up, grab you by the nose, and slap you across the face kind of commentary. But it gets better. Tucker goes on a little bit further. I want to play you a little bit more. Listen to this.
Every person who works in English language media understands that. The rule of what you can't say defines everything. It's filthy, really, and it's utterly corrupting. You can't have a free society if people aren't allowed to say what they think is true. Speech is the fundamental prerequisite for democracy. That's why it's enshrined in the first of our constitutional amendments.
Okay, again, not necessarily earth shattering, but again, he's building up to something here. Now, I want to move a little bit further into this almost 3-minute clip. And Tucker gets into a discussion of what he calls the gatekeepers. This is very interesting. So take a listen to this.
For the most part, the news that you see analyzed on Twitter comes from media organizations that are themselves thinly disguised propaganda outlets. You see it on cable news, you talk about it on Twitter. The result may feel like a debate, but actually the gatekeepers are still in charge. We think that's a bad system. We know exactly how it works, and we're sick of it.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the coup de grace. And here it is.
Starting soon, we'll be bringing a new version of the show we've been doing for the last 6.5 years to Twitter. We'll be bringing some other things too, which we'll tell you about. But for now, we're just grateful to be here. Free speech is the main right that you have. Without it, you have no others. See you soon.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, is the biggest piece of news to affect media since the invention of the television. Two titans, Elon Musk and Tucker Carlson, are about to get together and absolutely give cable news and every other media outlet a complete and total run for its collective money. This is going to be fun to watch, but it does bring up an interesting question, and that's this. Everybody's been wondering, well, how are these contract negotiations going with Fox? Because Tucker had to go out and hire a very big time media lawyer who has represented people like Don Lemon, Megyn Kelly, among others, because apparently Fox was supposedly sitting on their hands and like, well, we don't know if we really want to let him out of the contract or not. Well, another story broke in Axios, which may begin to explain why Tucker felt the boldness to put this video out. Take a look at this. From Axios, and this dropped earlier today. Headline, Scoop, Tucker Carlson accuses Fox of fraud contract breach. We get into this article, and this is huge. Tucker Carlson, 2 weeks after being ousted by Fox News, accused the network Tuesday of fraud and breach of contract and made a host of document demands that could precede legal action. The aggressive letter from his lawyers to Fox positions Carlson to argue that the non-compete provision in his contract is no longer valid, freeing him to launch his own competing show or media enterprise. On Tuesday, Carlson announced he would be bringing his show to Twitter. Sources told Axios that Carlson's lawyers sent their letter before he took to Twitter to announce his new show. The details. The letter from Carlson's lawyer Brian Friedman to Fox officials Vet Din and Irina Brigatti, a very infamous name inside Fox, by the way, said Fox employees, including, quote, Rupert Murdoch himself, broke promises to Carlson, quote, intentionally and with reckless disregard for the truth. The lawyers accused Fox executives of making material representations or promises to Carlson that were intentionally broken, constituting fraud. Notably, the letter alleges Fox broke an agreement with Carlson not to leak his private communications to the media and not to use Carlson's private messages, quote, to take any adverse employment action against him. Multiple outlets have reported on Carlson's redacted communications from pretrial discovery documents and have suggested that they led to his ousting. The letter also alleges Fox broke promises not to settle with Dominion Voting Systems, quote, in a way which would indicate wrongdoing on the part of Carlson and not to take any actions in a settlement that would harm his reputation. According to sources familiar with Carlson's position, his lawyers believe that the misrepresentations alleged by Carlson amount to a breach of contract because they created additional terms of Carlson's employment that were then broken by the company. Quote, these actions not only breach the covenant of good faith and fair dealing in the agreement, but give rise to claims for breach of contract and intentional and negligent misrepresentation, the letter says. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a intriguing and, might I say, brilliant argument. The contract is set up to do one thing. It lays out specifications of Fox's responsibilities, Tucker's responsibilities. But then all of a sudden, private communications are being leaked and promises are made, maybe outside the letter of the contract, but they constitute conditions that Fox made to Tucker Carlson. And according to Carlson's lawyer, these were broken. They were extra terms of employment. You broke them. Well, now the non-compete doesn't even apply because Fox violated the contract. Now, whether this is going to hold up in court or not, who knows? We'll see what happens. But the fact that Tucker Carlson is going to Twitter is absolutely one of the biggest pieces of news in 2023. We're going to keep an eye on this in the days and weeks ahead. So, as always, as we get to the end of this thing, number one, if you're not a subscriber to my channel, please do so. Number two, hit the bell for notifications. Number three, please spread this around. Number four, give me a thumbs up on the video. My name is Brian Trippett. I am your Front Porch Conservative, and I'll see you next time.